Art shows people the aim of their existence. It reveals the sense of their being, lights up their destiny, and leads them consistently along the road of life, wrote the great French sculptor Auguste Rodin. Auguste Rodin was born in Paris in 1840. It took his parents some time to believe that their late child, who was short-sighted, stubborn in his early age and not willing to learn, was incredibly talented. When the 14-year-old boy decided to learn drawing, his father, in wrath, refused to support him. It was only the support and help of his sister Maria who gave Rodin a chance to study at the School of Arts and Mathematics. After finishing school, Auguste tried 3 times to enter the School of Arts, but did not succeed. Not accepted, no right to be re-examined, absolutely devoid of abilities. Such was the conclusion of the school authorities. To make his living, Rodin worked as a craftsman for 5 francs a day under a decorator, producing architectural embellishments. He considered himself to be a dropout. After the death of his beloved sister, he made up his mind to give up earthly life. Turning away from art, Rodin briefly joined a Christian order, but there he could not find any consolation. Father Aimard, the head of the order, seeing the youth's uncertainty in what way of life to choose, advised him to return to the earthly life. "You are capable of sacrifice and self-denial only for the sake of art," he said to him at parting. Having left the monastery, Rodin spent 6 years as a chief assistant to the fashionable sculptor Carrier-Belleuse. He earned so little that he could not afford to pay to sitters. The first sitter of the young sculptor was his beloved named Rose Beret. Rodin was in no hurry to settle into married life, but Rose, who loved him deeply, forgave him everything and took care of Rodin's sculptures even more than of their son. While looking for a means of sustenance, Rodin made acquaintance with the Belgian sculptor van Rosberg, who offered him his studio but signed all Rodin's works under his name. They split the income from the sales of sculptures, and after saving some money, Rodin set out to travel around Europe. In Italy, he was so impressed by the works of Michelangelo that on returning to Paris, he locked himself in his studio and worked day in, day out. But the sculpture The Age of Bronze, which on its completion was exhibited in Brussels and Paris, caused a burst of indignation on the part of critics who accused him of sculptural cheating for a life-size male figure. To prove his craftsmanship, Rodin molded in the course of a few hours, to the amazement of the respected jury, the sculpture The Walking Man, which struck all the present by the perfection of form and shape. But the recognition of the public came to Rodin only after the Salon of 1880. In which his sculptures of St. John the Baptist preaching and The Age of Bronze won the 3rd prize of the exhibition. Rodin's name became known to the whole of France. Soon the sculptor received a big commission from the government for the decoration of the portal for a planned museum of decorative arts. Rodin was so carried away by the immensity of the work that he repeatedly changed the sculptures meant for the monumental composition, such as The Kiss, The Thinker, 3 Shades, Ugolino, and The Eternal Spring. He had already had 3 studios, one for the commissioned work, another for the embodiment of his own thoughts. Still another was known only to the selected, mainly his sitters and numerous favorites. When Rodin was 43, a new muse appeared in his life, Camille Claudel. Auguste doted on the beautiful and talented beloved, but at the same time he could not and did not want to abandon the faithful Rose Beret, who had put up with all his eccentricities so long. The love triangle lasted for 20 years. In the long run, Camille decided to break up their relations, but her mind, tortured by nervous breakdowns, could stand no longer, and she went to a psychiatric clinic. But Rodin continued working. By the 20th century, he had not only been famous, but also rich. He had 6 studios at his disposal, where his numerous apprentices and helpers worked. When the organizers of the World Exhibition in Paris refused to give a pavilion to the sculptor for his works, he immediately organized his own exhibition. It cost him 80,000 francs. but according to the historian, the success came down upon him like a cyclone. The sculptor spent the last years of his life in his country palace, the Hotel Biron, which was turned into a fusion of studio and museum. During the First World War, by order of the government, Rodin left Paris, but soon returned to finish his works, namely Camille Claudel's bust and the statue of Christ. But he was not strong enough to work. In January 1917, having had a stroke, Rodin married his faithful Rose Beret. Their marriage was very short. 2 weeks later, Rose died. Rodin outlived her only several months. He passed away in November 1917. The Austrian poet Rainer Maria Rilke, who had worked for Rodin for several years as a secretary, wrote in his reminiscences, "Out of soft clay, Rodin created the whole universe populated with real people."